incident handling, basically what we have been covering for those who have joined our previous sessions. This is like the one thing we cover all the time over and over again, because we need to understand what to do during incident response. There's the incident response process, which almost, I think, I'm sure all of you have seen, and the forensic analysis process. So when we detect an incident, we basically start with detecting it, analysis it, triaging it, analyzing it, trying to figure out more about the particular event, escalating it, investigate it, pull in more people as needed, depending on what the event is, classifying it, putting a severity level on it so that we know kind of how serious it is. And then we try to contain, obviously, right? To kind of limit the damage. And then we might figure out more about the particular attack, and then we might contain again. And then we find out more and contain again. So this is why it's a constant cycle until we can finally eradicate and recover from the attack. And then all the lessons learned ideally will go into preparation to improve our detection response capabilities and prevent future attacks like this. Might also be process improvements, what went well, what didn't go well during the response, all these kinds of things. So that's kind of what we do with the scenario, right? We have an alert. We start off with an alert in our case scenario. And then from there, we will start our analysis. And then from there, we would technically better understand how can we now contain this threat, or how could we eradicate the threat. But mostly we'd be focusing on the analysis side of things. And then during the analysis, we also would typically apply the forensics process. And that's the one that I just constantly keep mentioning, because it's so important to understand that the forensics process is not just the analysis of some kind of data. It starts with the collection, and we always need to know how we can collect data from different data sources and what the data is that we need in order to then perform an effective analysis. And that's where we need to understand following the order of volatility, such as least volatile and most volatile data, for example, memory first, and then the disk, and then the logs, by collecting those data sources, maintaining chain of custody, verifying integrity if applicable. So you basically create hashes and you basically document every single step of who dealt with the evidence, when, where, and how. Might be useful for later. But in this case, it's mostly also verifying integrity, because if you transfer data over the wire, sometimes data sources, images might get corrupt. And so you can use hashes to see if that was the case, if something happened to the evidence, and you might have to transfer it again. And only once you have collected everything you need, you can then dive into the examination and the analysis. So you basically extract the data that we need from the data sources. Oftentimes, those are artifacts that we need parsers for. Sometimes those are logs. Whatever it is, we then basically start the analysis and try to come up with ideas of evidence of what we are looking for, turn the information into evidence, and then basically create a timeline or documentation on what happened, when, where, and how. And then also recommendations on how to proceed. If it's just a single image, that's easier. If you have an entire environment compromised with dozens of systems compromised, that's obviously a little bit more tricky and needs a lot of coordination across teams. Here's the rundown of our response scenario, and this is not always the same case in every scenario and every environment, but this is typically what our workshop is also kind of following, this kind of structure. We have the process of first something happened, we got an alert. So then we are looking typically in a SIM for logs, evidence of compromise, the scope to see, which systems might be showing signs of this compromise, which are in scope, which do we need to take a closer look at. If we have EDR or something along those lines, obviously that helps a lot to perform more in-depth forensic analysis on the particular hosts at scale and remotely. And then if we need to take a really close look at some of those systems, that's where those data collection processes come into play, where we can create images or triage collections of those systems, and then to perform the forensic analysis. And the forensic analysis, that's a skill in itself. That's what we have done in the forensics course before. For those who haven't, you will be seeing a bunch of tools that we can use in order to extract information and evidence of a compromise out of disk images and memory images, and the PCAP logs that we have captured for this particular case here. But this is oftentimes how it goes down, and this is what we are wanting to replicate here in our workshop as well.